So let's get on with this webinar. Who's looking forward to Christmas, by the way? Who's looking forward to a bit of rest and a bit of a winding down? Yeah, I certainly am, I can tell you. Got my father's funeral on Friday, so that'll keep me, I'm just got that to prepare for and everything else. So it's been a busy time. Anyway, let's get underway. So the following disclaimer, basically it's not financial advice. It's basically for your financial education. So you obviously need to go ahead and get advice from tax experts or whatever else before you act on what I'm saying today. So there's 5 things I'll be covering today. The coming crypto monster super boom, the challenges in taxing cryptocurrencies and how the Australian government is fighting back, why most Aussies are heading for a massive shock as they don't have correct paperwork, how to best structure your cryptos to legally reduce your tax up to 75%, and a simple one-of-a-kind solution. So it's going to be educational and content, no hard selling, approximately 40 minutes followed by Q&A. After the webinar finishes, I'll be offering a bit of a package to help you structure your cryptos if you basically are in a position where you want to make sure the tax man doesn't pillage your cryptos. But whatever the case, you're going to get some really good value from today. So basically, the big problem is that you've made profits or intending to make lots of profits in the coming boom. And some of you may be hoping to make millions. If that's you, type a Y in the chat. But here's the thing. If you haven't got the right structures or worse, correct paperwork to line your cryptos to your structure before you make the profits, the tax man is going to be even happier because they're going to make a big payday at your expense. So many of you are right now about to be funding Albo's flights and all the politicians, basically their lovely little holidays. Who's looking forward to doing that? I'm sure we're going to get plenty of no's in the text chat. If you're not looking forward to that, then I'm sure you'll be taking some action today. So does this sound like you? You own cryptos and have no idea how tax works. You've never properly structured yourself for your cryptos, and you're absolutely shitting yourself as to what the ATO will do to you if you have an audit. And you know you don't have correct paperwork in place. Type a Y if you have cryptos and you know that you have them in a structure and all the right paperwork, minutes, and that in place. Type a Y if you know you're completely covered and got everything set up. A couple of people. Great. If you haven't, just type a no in the chat if you know that you actually got wallets sitting on MetaMask and all over the place and nothing properly linked to any structure. Yeah, so the tax man will be sitting there listening going, I love you guys. So today I'm here to make you disliked by the tax office because you're correctly structured. Who's going to join me in that little journey? Well, I know you're all thinking I'm 21 years of age, but as you can see, I've actually been around a bit longer than that. I've got 10 years with the tax office. I actually worked for them before I found salvation and came to the other side. I've actually got 25 plus years experience in private practice. So yeah, that makes me slightly older than 21, unfortunately, but not too much, just a few little years here and there. So basically, cryptos really is about being sovereign. That's how I see it. And it's basically learning to become financially sovereign. It's learning to build yourself a really good financial future and a really fabulous nest egg. That's kind of the idea of all of this. So that's the purpose of people go into cryptos in the first place, so they can do just that. So the main thing with cryptos is to realize it's not like a magic thing within itself. And it's still very important, as I tell people, to make sure that you're wise with your money and doing what the wealthy do. You're never going to get a better opportunity than right now with the Trump presidency and opening up the gate for cryptos and for freedom to get to move ahead and really set yourself up for life. I don't think I've ever been so optimistic about business in my life. And I think some of you would have been at my webinar a month ago when I talked about that. I believe right now there's a lot of work to be done, but I've noticed already a surge of optimism and a surge of growth. And in the midst of all of that, what you don't want to do is you really don't want to lose your basic common sense. And the Harry Brown model portfolio says this. It says we got the original one and we got the enhanced. So the idea is that basically you want to make sure that even with all your cryptos and things like that, you've actually got your model portfolio done. So I normally, these days, I would have something like maybe this. You would probably do something like maybe, you might do cryptos in here, for example, in the model portfolio. So you might put it here rather than bonds, and you might put private investments, bonds over here. That might be the way you tinker it into your model portfolio. So to understand the issue with taxing cryptos, let's have a look at the history of it all. So the biggest reason why cryptos is proving, it's a double-edged sword. The reason there's been some unusually high gains with cryptos is because it's unregulated and it's a Wild West, and most people still don't understand how they work. So in anything like that, while something is difficult to do, there's money to be made. It also means, unfortunately, that tax-wise, even the tax office and the regulatory authorities don't really understand it either. In 2018, an ASIC official told me when I was having a chat about something, he said they didn't really understand much about cryptos at all, and they were still trying to work it out. So cryptos are still very new for regulators. People don't really understand how to properly do their cryptos for tax planning because no one really knows how to do it. And to give you a bit of an idea, for example, if you look at my own computer, this is my MetaMask. What does that MetaMask actually link to? Which structure? The idea is nothing. It just floats on the web. So without paperwork or something to link my MetaMask or link my Phantom wallet, which I use for my meme coin trading, unless I link these two things across to my thing, or unless I link my hard wallet to my cryptos, basically to my structure, under the tax law, section 190, it's automatically assumed that it's in my own name, which basically means I will be paying the highest marginal tax rates. Is there anyone thinking that's not a particularly good idea, or is it just me? Just type a Y if you think a bit the same as me on that one. Yep, most of you, good. So you're getting the picture. So even most people's CoinSpots, is there anyone here who's got a CoinSpot or Coinjar account in a structure? Just type me if you have. You've actually got it in a company name or trust name. 1, 2, yeah, a few people. Okay, so there's a few people who pulled it off. So yes, it's possible to pull it off, but it's hard work. Binance is even harder. So, and of course, a lot of things you can't even link like that, like the MetaMask. The other one is nodes. If you purchase nodes, it can be difficult as well, or mining software and things like that. So a lot more KYC needed, as Glenn pointed out. So because of that, most people's cryptos aren't really linked correctly. The ATO have started to look more closely since about 2022, when they finally worked out what's going on. And of course now, thanks to Mr. Donald Trump, USA is now being announced the crypto capital of the world and zero tax for US cryptocurrencies. So that's going to precipitate, in my view, a fairly large boom. Again, that's not financial advice, it's just my opinion. But I don't know anyone who and the commentators I follow and experts, and even the most conservative one, just see we're heading for a fairly major growth boom in cryptos because it's going mainstream. And once it's gone mainstream, guess what? The days of good gains are over. It's no different to Microsoft, Apple buying shares in that. And about a year or two from now, more likely a year, the days of these kind of insane gains will be over. And it will just be more a normal thing like everything else. So you want to be prepared. I believe there's fortunes of a lifetime looming, but you want to be well structured. Because it's going to be fully regulated, everything will be tracked, and you're going to be a walking cash cow, courtesy of the ATO to bring them much joy and happiness in their life. So where are cryptos headed? As I've mentioned, it changes everything. Again, this is my opinion. Tomorrow it might crash. Something might happen, but I think it's difficult to envisage a scenario where it's not going to do well. Not every crypto will do well, but it's going to do well. The rich see cryptos very much in this kind of way. They see it now more as mainstream, and more I'm finding that people who previously wouldn't go near cryptos, investors, high net worth friends of mine are starting to now buy it. Some of you would have heard Stephen Pettit, who he and I used to have furious arguments on webinars about cryptos, is now bought up a whole lot of cryptos. One of my other friends used to argue with me, same deal. BlackRock are now buying cryptos. Many of the big companies are buying them. Microsoft voted against that, but rest assured that'll change in the next year or two. I see Bitcoin becoming like the new US dollar myself. I see it like becoming the cryptos will become almost like a store of value in themselves that will be seen as stable, secure wealth. And there's 4 ways where people can see cryptos. They're just a hedge or store of value. And that's for people who which is what I use it a lot for, just to hold like I would cash. In fact, I trust it a bit more than cash now. Long-term investing in blockchain, that's the main reason why most people do it. Long-term investing or speculation, basically on cryptos. So I'll just fix the slide up for that actually. So long-term investing or speculation in blockchain technology. Fluctuations on the exchanges and trading for short-term income. And they each have different tax implications. So I do have more detailed ones on my site on this, which you can always watch if you go into our free videos, which go into a lot more depth. Today is more just to give you an overview. Let's have a bit of a look at tax structuring to basically do it. So why get structured now? There is a factor a few think about, the tax map. The best way to think of it is that you get car insurance on your car before you crash it. There's no point, as one of my friends found out recently, he actually had a terrible situation, a really close friend of mine, where his wife got hit by a bike in America and was raced to hospital and had a $49,000 US hospital bill. The one time in his life, he'd forgotten to get travel insurance. He hastily had tried to get it once she hit it, but of course it was too late. And basically he's left with the bill. So likewise, once you've made your crypto gains and you're sitting there and you've got 100,000 or a few 100,000 or even $1 million that you didn't expect, you're going to be gifting a whole lot of that to Albo for his flights and many of their cronies. And you'll be doing it basically because you haven't taken the action to do it. So who is here today to just type a 1 if you're here for a Netflix show, just to listen to me because you think I'm sexy and great, and type a 2 if you're actually here to learn structuring and take action today and get on with things. Most people putting 2. That's good, but it's sad for me, but good for your financial future. So Esther, both. You're sweet, Esther. Glenn, 1. then you'll definitely get favorable treatment after that. And the second thing is, if you wait until it's too late to get correctly structured, you're in for a huge tax bill. Because once you've earned the money, you can't go back and change it not legally. And believe you me, the ATO are very good at finding out when you backdate stuff. You just better do it correctly from day one. I mean, why? It's, as you'll see today, it is astonishingly simple to fix this problem. Astonishingly simple. And if you're going to buy cryptos, I've made it as easy for you as I possibly can. And I had an accountant on the phone the other day who really liked what I'd done, because he's like, I don't quite know how to deal with this. And I said, well, me being a lawyer and accountant, I know how to fix it. So this is what I'm showing you today. Because right now, the tax man is the big fat ass elephant in the room. And you really don't want that elephant sitting on you. And you really don't want the tax man as a third wheel on your next day. I'm sure you would all agree with me on that. As Kerry Packer put it so beautifully in 1991, I'm not evading tax in any way, shape, or form. And it's really good to know the context of this. He was like a Trump of his day, because he was brought up before the print media. They were hammering him on his tax, on his planning, and getting really criticized. And he basically was told that, you know, really, are you just basically trying to cheat Australians from their fair share of tax? And he's like, well, no. In fact, and not only am I not doing that, I happily minimize my tax. And if you're not doing it, you're a nut job, because the government are not spending it that well, that we should be giving you any more than you have to. So make no apologies for doing something about your taxes and not basically getting your butt wiped by the ATO. Let's go through how tax works on cryptocurrencies. And they've made it pretty clear that they want their share of the pickings. They're releasing delightedly exciting new rulings, which they're kind of making up all kinds of interesting stuff and opinions, knowing that most people won't dare to challenge them. They're having the time of their life. No doubt some of their opinions will fall down the track in court, but for now, I think they're going to have some fun. So my job is not, so the way I'm going to work with you today is, think of it this way. I don't necessarily need to protect you from being caught by the lion if the lion's chasing you. But you probably heard the saying, if you and your friend are being chased by a lion, the main thing is to be in front of your friend. Because if a lion gets your friend first, you get away. So you want to be the one running ahead of the lion, ahead of your friends, and get away. So you want to be ahead of everyone else. And that's what I'm helping you here today. Who here is ready to run ahead and lead the others to the lions? Anyone? Type of Y. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a cheeky mood. I think it's Christmas coming up. I just want to go and eat turkey and have barbecues and just do shit, you know. The ATO can find you if you're holding your cryptos, and they can do this in so many different ways. They can do it through CoinSpot and exchanges. They can do it through overseas allies. If you've got overseas, one way they can nail you. When it hits your bank account and you cash it out, they can get you. And now they've got nice arrangements. They've demanded stuff from CoinSpot, Coinjar, Binance, and all of them. So I know that the ATO and them are now mates and buddies. Stronger anti-money laundering laws and overseas exchange info arrangements. If you hide it offshore, this is a very rare situation, but they can do a special notice to get it from offshore, but it's hard to do. I reckon AI software they're really going to use, they'll be able to guess what people have made by cryptos just by using AI software and deep learning software. Deep learning software is amazing. If you've heard of deep learning, just write the words DL in the chat. Deep learning, not a lot of people have, but deep learning software enables it pretty much to go ahead, cover your patterns, and almost like a human learn and evolve and gradually understand what you're doing. So they're going to basically be able to know everything you're doing by the software before you can know it. So basically, Bitcoin ledger and repeated transactions, and I checked this out with a computer hacker friend of mine, and he showed me that he could hack into anyone's Bitcoin ledger with no problem whatsoever. So they can match transactions. So here's the lovely question. Is it worth it? You tell me. This is what Peter Martin of the Sydney Morning Herald found. 56 richest income earners. He found basically that's how much tax they were paying, all within the law. But they paid experts over $1 million, in fact, every year to keep regulators off their back. Because once you make more than 50 million, you're automatically on the next 5,000 list, which means you're going to be looked at by the ATO every 2 to 3 years. So they're paying that regularly. But what they've worked out is tax is by and large as close to optional as you can get by knowing the system. They legally pay someone. And all I tell someone is that if you've only got 100 grand and I asked you for 80 grand to help set you up to pay, 200K less tax, you might hesitate. If you have 10 million a year and you paid me $1 million to pay no tax, hypothetically, of course, you would do it without a flash, I'm sure. And this is what happens when you don't tax plan. Here's the facts for you. So you can see that by missing out and not doing it, the extra taxes kills your compounding long term. Really hurts your compounding. So basically, you're an ATO license to print money for them. And most clients that I know, and I can tell you now, I cannot think of anything where I've had clients come in. I've never had a crypto client come into me properly structured, whereas everything else I have. Many of them have come to me panicking because they realize, like, I'm literally about to get walloped because everything's in my own name. And all they would have had to do was just do some decent tax planning, but of course they didn't get around to it. And people just don't protect and take their net worth seriously enough. So giving you a bit of an example here. So let's just make up some figures here. I know these are unrealistic for Bitcoin. In fact, yeah, I think it's probably better to say something a bit different. Like, so basically, I'll just change those figures actually. And make it a bit more. Yeah. So he spent 10,000, got 200,000 profit. Sounds fantastic, except with no structuring. Chris and the ATO are Chris is about to give elbow, and all of his merry men and women a wonderful donation with love and honor. Ouch. So instead, though, if Chris had gone and seen me or seen somebody and put a family trust or company, that's all he'd be paying, 25% tax at most. If he was a philanthropist and was looking at going that path philanthropy, he might go down to 20, 10%, 5%, even almost zero if he became a philanthropist. If he decided to go and become a non-resident and live offshore, could have changed everything. And if he waited till January 2024, he gets a 12-month CGT discount. That cuts it in half. So so here's the deal, basically. All about the timing. And that kind of gives you a bit more insight. Let's now to just assure you, so some pay now, but less later on. And to assure you I'm not sexist, let's bring in a lovely female called Jenny. So Jenny buys 10 coins at 3,000 each of Ethereum. Ethereum is my little pet baby. Everyone's got their pet. I like Ethereum. It's stable. I still think it's going to go up a bit and make a break soon. So Ethereum is my pet baby, but I do have quite a few. So, and that is not financial advice because Ethereum so far has moved less than almost anything else. So not looking good in that one. But makes 170K in her job. So she's thinking about selling. It's doubled and she's like really cool. But she sells now, she makes a 20K profit and she's going to be giving Albo and his friends a fairly hefty donation. If basically waited until after 11th of February 2025, tax rate cuts by 50%. So it becomes a lot easier. So once again, she needs to get on with this quick smart. She really doesn't want to leave this because the longer she waits, the more likely she's going to get her butt wiped. And I think we'd all agree that cryptos are going to move hard any day now. I even thought it might happen this month. It's been a bit quieter, which is good. I'm hoping it stays that way because I have a feeling around Trump's inauguration or just after it's going to go feral. We'll see if I'm right. So you want to get this right. But Jenny's bigger problem is because she hasn't come and listened to any of my webinars, or she hasn't met her accountant. She just got MetaMasks and Solanas, and she's got like nodes, and she's got like her CoinSpot was in her own name, and she's got a Coinbase one sitting somewhere else. Then she's got an OKEx account that she set up 6 years ago to buy cryptos, and a KuCoin she's got as well, and she's got some sitting in her Kraken. And she's just sitting there going like, oh, my holy mother of God, I'm going to be walloped in my own name. Can any of you relate to Jenny right now? She's got a Kraken and just chucked all these things and did a little KYC. And yeah, many of you can relate to Jenny, can't you? You're going, yikesity, yikesity, yikes, yikes, yikes. Elkie's Jenny. Yep, there's lots of Jennies around. Don't you worry, Elkie. There's lots of them. This place is full of Jennies. And, you know, even male Jennies today. And the good thing is with pronouns, it doesn't really matter. You can be male, female, whatever. The moral of the story is keeping wealth is just as important as making it. So, just as important. So, and guess what? You face someone, this is the price you pay for being ahead of the game, everyone. Many of you were ahead of the game during COVID, and you worked out that the vaccine was an absolute like basket case, an absolute like, you know, dog box in no uncertain terms. And it was like, nah, this thing is going to absolutely be like horrific. But you got a bit of flack for it now. Now people are more like, yeah, you're probably right. So keep in mind, just because you've worked out that cryptos is the way of the future and you're in it, whereas most people are still going, do I want to take the risk? And then they're going, I'm not sure about this. And because of that, and it's all messy and everywhere, basically that's why there's some really good gains sitting there waiting to be taken, while everyone gets into FOMO and works like goes, oh shit, I've just missed out. But you don't want to be like all over the place with your structuring, because that's when you could make so much money only to watch the ATO in the next few years unravel all your hard-earned return and hit you with penalties. Who would be shattered and distraught if that happened to you? If you got your butt walloped and lost most of your gains? Just type a Y if you would be like pretty damn distressed. Absolutely. And if you're not, I want to make you my shaman and my mentor. So that shows you've taken Buddha's teaching to the max. But what does Buddha say? But all suffering comes basically from being attached to things. So anyway, I'm getting better. So the very, very big problem, due to the unregulated nature of cryptos and unusual nature, people haven't properly linked their cryptos to their structures. So as I've already mentioned all this here, but now you're seeing it in front of you on text as well, to kind of rub it in your face, to say, you've been naughty, but not deliberately naughty. You just didn't know. Love to know if there's a way of fixing things up. Kelly asked if you've already started investing about a structure. Kelly, rest assured that there's no way I would be teaching this just to simply rub it in with you and say that you're going to hell. There's definitely a solution, and I'm going to be showing you how to fix it at the end. So if you hang around, it's only going to go 45, 50. I'll take some questions, and then I'm going to be showing you how to fix it. So I may not be Jesus. I may not be able to save you from your sins, but I can save you from your crypto sins. So continuing on, basically, if you've got a list, you're potentially heading for maximum tax. So how do you link your wallets to your structure? So if you've got a crypto exchange and a structure, well done, but hard to do in practice, the only way is to have proper paperwork completed. So to give you an example of what I've created and what you'll be getting offered later on, for those of you who are interested, is a lawyer drafted crypto service agreement, which you will be given detailed video instructions to show you exactly how to complete this, to link all your wallets from your Kraken, your nodes, your MetaMask, your whatever else, your donkey wallet, whatever else. I've heard yesterday I had a recommendation to buy a coin called Fartcoin. This is the crypto world for you. But we've got that. On top of that, we've got a trust minute template to ensure that you resolve to link it there, so that when they see it in there, you can sit down and provide the paperwork also the ATO for your trust, your foundation, or your company, and with videos to show you how to do it, and how to work with your accountant to guide your accountant, and even for your accountant to watch. Who thinks it's a pretty good little offering? Who's already excited at the thought of seeing this? Yeah, absolutely. I'm about to make your life so much better. You're going to love me forever. You love me more than your wives, your partners. I will be the most popular person in your life. I used to joke like that with my old business partner's husband. I used to say to him, you realize I'm more important than you are because I'm the one who your wife makes money with, not you. So anyway, Jordana, this is what tax rate does a PTY Ltd pay. Generally 25%, but you can pay a whole lot more when it comes out. I'll cover that a bit later on, Jordana. So how does it work? Like I said, Christmas sends me a bit feral. I'm just in a bit of a really silly mood today. Um, the AGO pretty much says that the moment you start moving cryptocurrency around, it's taxable. And they even say, but if you then swap your, Solana and grab yourself some Ripple or you swap something else, that's also a CGT event. I'm like, for goodness sake, to my view, is that what goes into the exchange and then what comes out and then what the net profit in the exchange, that's all that really matters. But they kind of take this to the micromanaging feral silliness. So basically, you really do need to keep good records on it. And they also talk about, potential taxes as well if you've got USD and conversions and things like that. So I'm going to kind of keep this simple. There's three main things that you've got to nail with this. Number one, you've got to work out the kind of structure that you're going to put your cryptos in. You want to do company, trust, foundation, and I'll go into that a little bit later. I am going to be covering this a little bit later. Rest assured on that. And what you do if you already have crypto sitting in your own name, but you haven't done anything about, as people have already mentioned in the chat. The second one is if you have already got cryptos in your own name, when you start to plunk them over into a structure, is it going to trigger a nasty CGT problem that's going to give me the fright of my life? What's the best thing for me to do here? Do I keep them in my own name and don't transfer them, or do I transfer them where the tax is in case they go up more? So that's an important issue too, and that can be a frustrating one and not an easy one to solve. And yet the videos I've got do show you a bit about that too. I walk you through that one quite nicely. So where do you do a transitional? So you've got to consider that, and that's where you and your accountant, with the help of the videos. And believe you me, get this right, everyone. You want to go and sit back on the boom and go, oh, my boat's fixed, baby. I ain't giving them any more than I have to. And is your crypto linked to the structure? So it's all very well and good to have a structure, but if your cryptos are all sitting on MetaMask and on Solana with no paperwork, that means jack shit. It's going to be in your own name. So basically, two ways to hold your cryptos. One is to set up the crypto account in the structure name if you can do it, like Coinbase let you do it, Coinjar let you do it. I think Binance do. And the other one is that those that you can't, or even if your CoinSpot is in your own name and you just don't want to change it into a company because it's like, oh, got better things to do, link it to your structure by using correct paperwork. So SMSF can be a bit more challenging because you really have to hold all kinds of things. So don't go running around buying cryptos using what I'm teaching you today without running it by your accountant who's a superannuation expert. Because if you go ahead using this paperwork and having it in your own name, although I think it can be done, you really should check with your accountant first and be certain, because you don't want to be caught out with your super fund audit. So how you do the paperwork, i.e. if the cryptos are all in your own name on your wallets, you either open the crypto and account exchange in your name, create a minute, create a bare trust and service agreement. And that's basically what I'm going to show you how to do. So that's basically what you can do if you don't have it in the name of your structure. And this will be made available on YouTube as a replay if you basically go, oh my God, I've got to listen to this again, or you just want to see my face in my lovely orange shirt. The reason for holding your cryptocurrency is determined as tax implications. If you're buying and holding and speculating, like most of you are, you're generally going to pay normal taxes, but if you hold for more than 50%, you will get a CGT discount for more than 12 months. That's the general rule, but hang on, I better note something on that one. But not in a company. The companies don't get the CGT discount. If you're trading, I don't think most of you are doing that. But if you're buying and selling it and you're running a business with cryptos, or you're running a node at producing regular income, that's more of a business and you don't get CGT discounts on that one. So that's trading. And the third one is mining or nodes, if you're doing that kind of stuff there. So I hope that's all making sense for you all. So these are the kind of records you need to make sure that you're keeping according to the ATO. So lovely group of people. So now you're all probably saying to me, was going to give me some weapons, mate, to fight back against these buggers? And the answer is, you bet. Who wants to hear some weapons? Who wants to be shown 5 little weapons that you can use? A few of you? Beauty. Excellent. One is you can just leave the country and go and become a non-resident. Move to Bali, move to Europe, move to Turkmenistan, free country like that, somewhere like that, just move, become a non-resident somewhere else for tax. Turkmenistan, if you don't know, was a joke. That's actually got a reputation for the wackiest country in the world. Like some of the most funniest laws you've ever seen in your life. If you ever want to have a bit of amusement, go and look up Turkmenistan and look up the laws on Wikipedia. It's hysterical. Like there's things like, they have to have a special song, and a picture of the king they had to carry around, and it's crazy. But anyway, so don't go to Turkmenistan. But these places like Bali, Indonesia, Panama, basically different places you become a non-resident. And that basically means that you will no longer pay tax on your cryptos, or you will pay a lot less if you see the right expert to help you do it. If you're in Turkmenistan, I think I don't know what you pay over there. Companies, you pay. Not a great idea to hold cryptos in a company if you're a hodler. Maybe if you're a miner, but not if you're a hodler. It's actually 25% now, I think. I got 25.7, but I just realized it's actually 25%. So I better fix that up. That's a bit naughty of me. No CGT discount. Asset protection. So having a company is better than not, but it does hurt you on your CGT discount. So what you're actually better off to do is have a company as trustee for a trust. That is generally the best way for you to start out if you're new to this kind of stuff. So this is a really, great way for a newbie to start out, because it gives you a lot of basically benefits. So I'm a big fan of family discretionary trusts. So you can split your income. So you can choose who gets it in your family. If you're really about to get walloped with taxes, you can set up a bucket company and cut it down to 25%. And if you're still getting walloped and you're a philanthropist, you can start looking at foundations. There's so many things you can do. And so you get all the benefits of the individual, and you get extra ones on top of it. So only the beneficiaries pay the taxes, and you get superb asset protection. So if someone sues you in your own name when you're out of business, your cryptos are safe. Whereas in your own name, you're basically sitting duck. So it's a no-brainer. I would say strongly, strongly, strongly you want to do it. SMSFs, I'm not really allowed to advise on them, and I don't want to because the government have gone silly with them. But basically, you don't pay a lot of tax in it. So for someone who's in their 50s or whatever, it's not a bad idea. You just got to make sure you see your accountant and the licensed dudes and dudesses to do that. Another way to go is foundations. So I noticed questions coming in the chat. What will be amazing, everyone, just because there's like so many different messages, I'm going to miss them. In the Q&A section on the webinar, if you can plonk them in there, because in that way I will definitely see them. Whereas it's the chances that I will see yours in the chat, is about the same chances that I'm going to eat KFC tonight. In other words, not very good. So foundations. This is what the high net worth do to hide in plain sight, as I call it. So basically it's what I call hide in plain sight. So you pretty much are able to, basically hiding in plain sight, as I call it. It's just a really good way to legally not pay any more than you absolutely have to. And this is why you notice that most of the high net worth who haven't run away and become non-residents, they don't pay a lot of taxes because they set up foundations. This is what they do. Because there's only so many jets you can buy, so many, skydiving experiences you can do, basically, and all that kind of crazy stuff. So they've been tax exempt for thousands of years, and it's still the case today. It's the hiding in plain sight, which they call. Not only, by the way, do they not pay taxes, but Google give them up to $10,000 per month in the Google grant for Google AdWords for foundations in Australia right now. You get all kinds of other government grants. The Stan Perrin Foundation does it, the Gina Reinhart Foundation, the Twiggy Forrest. Literally got people wanting to throw money at you, like just throw money at you. I've got a female friend who's trying to do crypto to help women, and the government are trying to throw money at her and CoinSpot to help her help women. So not only do you not pay taxes, but people want to throw money at you because you're doing good. And you fucking feel good about it. Like, who here, by the way, first met me hearing me speak out in COVID about those horrible mandates, silly crap that they were trying to experiment on people's bodies? Who first, just type a Y if you first came across me with that. Because that was philanthropic. I didn't charge that, as you know. And I mean, I felt great. That helped me get through. And afterwards, I was so glad that I did it. I'm like, I'm so glad that I did that and I helped people. It was like the best feeling in the world, And I know a lot of people said to me afterwards, thanks to your webinars and thanks to you empowering us, we stood strong and were able to protect our bodies. And that made it all worth my while. And that showed me more than ever that being a philanthropist is just badass. It's the best way to be. Like, who wants to be a selfish, bugger, really, when you can be a philanthropist, when you can give money to someone less fortunate, I had the pleasure recently of a friend of mine in Ukraine who I've known for quite a while, and she got pneumonia because her parents got killed by rockets, and basically all kinds of horrible drones keep hitting their houses and blowing it up. She's fed somewhere else, just as trauma and the PTSD. And then she couldn't afford to go drip because she'd used all her money for food. So I was able to go, okay, no problem. How much you need? Just send it to her. And see, philanthropy is good. It's cool. And when you set up a foundation which requires you to be a philanthropist, because many of you are going to make a bucket load of cash from cryptos, and you want to make sure that some of that money is being used for philanthropy. If you make about $1 million or 2 million, you want to go 10, 20%. You are too good. Want to help people with that. And the more we do that, the more we can make a difference. In the House of Lords, McNaughton basically gave 4 different types of foundations or charitable things: relief of poverty, advancing of religion. I've done both, but advancing religion is my main one. I believe, along with my business Chapman, with that side of things, that if we don't raise Australia's consciousness, we're heading into a dark ages. I mean, we really are. And we believe that, I'm not saying that we create some fundamentalist weird religion. Our religion that I've set up, the Awakening Within City Awakening, we have groups connected with us that are Hindu, Buddhist, Wiccan, Church of Cannabis, anyone that promotes sovereignty and connects people with God and does good and raises consciousness, join in the party. That's our religion. Who likes those kind of beliefs, by the way? An inclusive religion that lets anyone see God in their way, as long as we've got the same values. Yeah, that's kind of where I used to be a very fundamentalist Christian, by the way. It's just cool. Love it, So I've even got a Wiccan religion that's joined in with us. That's really cool because I didn't actually have a clue what Wiccan was until then. So advancement of education and other purposes beneficial to the community. So just to be clear, what I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about private foundations because I won't set these up for people. The ATO pretty much said, we're going to nail your butt to the ground if you do these, and we're going to target everyone involved. And I really don't want to pick a fight with them. I don't know about you. I also want to go to war with them when I can set up a public foundation, but the ATO not only accept that, but want to throw money at me. Not about you, but it's a bit like choosing a very toxic partner or choosing a partner that only loves you, wants to give you money and look after you. It's a pretty easy choice, isn't it? So, well, hopefully, in theory anyway. So for most people that got a healthy psychological way of thinking anyway. So that's why I like public foundation. So these are the common types of charities, the different ones you can set up. The most popular, the private auxiliary, this is what most of the high net worth do. It's for the lazy philanthropist who doesn't have time to do much, but just wants to throw money away to others. These other ones require a bit more involvement. So there's three main things I want you to walk away from this webinar before we take questions and then show you what we're offering. Number one, cryptos are taxable like anything else. As a default, that'll be taxed in your own name. So potentially you're going to get your bottom wiped if you don't basically make sure that you have a structuring put in place. So that's the first thing I want you to really make sure you get from this. So hopefully you got this well and truly. So really want to be absolutely sure that you've got that one done. So number one, making sure you know that cryptos are taxable like anything else. Number two, the way you can solve this problem is by setting up a structure or using one you already have with the right guidance. There are a few options, by the way, which you can go. A company, only 25%, but doesn't get the 50% CGT discount. A trust or a corporate trustee foundation. They're the three main ones. And probably, in fact, I should also probably throw in there. That's mucked up my formatting. But yeah, basically a non-resident as well, I should probably throw in there. That's the other option. And the third one is you must link your cryptos to the structure by having proper paperwork, agreements, and minutes. Otherwise, they're automatically going to be taxed in your own name. So you really want to make sure you got some proper agreements done up, which you can basically use, which I'll be covering a little bit more of, and a proper trust minute, which our offerings will show you how to do. Okay, so now I'm going to open up for questions for a bit before I do the final part and show you how you can solve the problem and how I can assist you to do so. Okay, first question, Frank. Am I right in thinking tax is only applicable once you sell crypto at a profit? You are basically right, yes. You've actually got to sell it or do a disposal or make a transfer of it. Just keeping in mind that if you transfer the crypto, like you swap Solana into Ripple and Solana's gone up, that's a profit. Kim, what was the sovereign book you shared at the start? The Sovereign Individual, it's called. The Sovereign Individual. If you're using, and Debbie, if you're using a non-custodial wallet like MetaMask, how does the ATO link it to you? Well, keeping in mind AI and software is getting stronger, Debbie. So never assume, but they don't know because they're going to find out. I remember people used to always say they'll never find out about my offshore stuff until the ATO started hitting notices and jailing people because they're always finding new ways. So obviously they're going to find it harder. We're not going to find it as easy, that's for sure. But yes, there's going to be ways they can do it. So you want to presume you're better off the structure right in the first place. So Jordana, may you please revisit the slide, private foundations and what to watch. I missed the full title of what to look up. Oh yeah, hang on. What? Yeah, I think somewhere on our Global Wealth Club site, we've got one about private foundation, should you have one. That's on one of our videos in our free in foundation, Jordana. I think that's the one you were wanting me to have a look at. So let's have a look at the next questions. Keep in mind, don't put them in the chat. Basically, keep them in the questions and answers. David, does it have to be a corporate trustee? I don't like the company digital ID. No, not necessarily. I mean, there is a way to avoid it. I mean, companies are better for business. For investment trust, you can get away with it. But yes, not necessarily. No, you can avoid the corporate trustee. Lindsay, we transferred coins to our old cold wallet. Does that trigger CGT? Yes, in my view, it's probably not. The ATO may take a different view on that. You know, they may say, well, technically you've transferred. I don't think you have. I think it's a storage. It's like a bank account. So I personally don't think so. But as yet, the ATO haven't ruled. Who liked the efficiency of that webinar? I'm pretty happy with that. Like, it took me like about 48 minutes. Took me there. So anyone got any more questions before we move to the offer and what we can do? It's excellent, Jordana. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. You're being very kind to me today. So, okay. I think there's a couple more Q&As before we go. Donna, we have discretionary struck of corporate trust in all crypto coins in my name. Would it be wise to sell them in rebuy and trust name? Just wait, Donna. I'm going to show you the offer because if you get that, you may not need to do that. You know, you may just be able to use the paperwork and the video system I've given you. You may not need to do that. So not necessarily. So I would suggest wait till you watch the end part. So Lindsay, appreciate it. Is trust any benefit? That's a really great question. It's like, you know, a bit like, is a car helpful? I'm just being cheeky, Peter, but yeah, look, trust, my slide mentioned it makes a big difference with tax and asset protection. I can't say much more than that. So yes, it will be a replay on YouTube, no problem. Peter, I'm solo, no dependents, whatever histories, have a company trading account. Yeah, look, the thing is with a company is that you won't get a CGT discount. Just keep that in mind, Peter. So you'll pay twice as much tax if you hold your cryptos more than 12 months and then sell them. So you'll be wiped in a company. Once you set up the structure up, it's a one-time thing or ongoing. It's a one-time thing, but you got a lot of tax returns every year. So yes, it's got some ongoing nature. Okay, everyone. Well, let me just now run through what's next. You've got three choices what to do after this webinar. Number one, you just really hope it works out. And some of you will do this and just hope you don't get looked at. You know, you're always going to have people who do that, hopefully a very small minority. So you just kind of bury your head in the sand. Second one is you see a current accountant. If they know cryptos, yeah, great. My experience is very few accountants understand this at the moment. And every one of them, my solution's been quite new for them. So the third one is to take action and get specialist help to structure your cryptos to take advantage of the new crypto boom. So that's the other one as well. So if you resonate with option 3, so who basically just type a me if you resonate with option 3. That's actually rhymed, that. Pretty cool. A few of you? Okay, great. Perfect. Well, I'm about to make your life a lot easier. And you're going to love me forever, hopefully. So, there's two choices in terms of what you're going to do. Now, keep in mind, the second package that I'm offering is only on this webinar, okay? The first one is available ongoing. The second one is only for the webinar, okay? So basically, option 1 is basically the crypto implementation package. So what this will give you is a full set of documents to properly structure your crypto assets, step-by-step video guides, and you can basically send us emails from time to time to make sure you're compliant. So that's basically what you get. So I'm going to actually show you what you get. So this is the page. This is a list of the different things. And this is what you actually will get. You will get access into our membership site that's private, into our special section in here. And we've got a cryptocurrency thing here. You'll be able to go into that and you'll see, I'll show you exactly what you're going to get. You will get some videos that will walk you through to explain structures and how to use all this kind of stuff. You will get a list of all this kind of thing. And it'll all be listed out in videos. And if you prefer to see paperwork, well, the good news is, not only gotten paperwork, but we give you downloadable minutes and templates. The templates are being checked by a lawyer as well, and he drafted some of it, quite a lot of it. I drafted initially, but I had a lawyer go over and put his stuff on it who was very good with it. So this is what we've got. You got the crypto service, the trust minute template, and then you've got other guides to help you get through it. So that's what you're basically getting. So in terms of what the price actually is, yeah, I mean, I deliberately don't. This is something that I want to be a pretty decent kind of a price. It's just basically, this is what all you do it yourself. This is not something where you're really going to be getting anything so much from me. You're just getting access to our email template. So it's $4.97 special launch price, which I think is a pretty good deal. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. The next one here, the crypto implementation package. You will gain access to our cryptocurrencies module. And basically you will on the templates there. So option 2, this one is a premium one. I'm only offering this webinar. Basically, you also get an onboarding consult with me. Now, I did that really reluctantly, and so only because just for people who kind of want to do a chat about these structures, and just so generally, if you know your structure and you're pretty cool with that, you do option 1. If you're kind of like, I'd like to have a bit of a chat with Warren because I just want to know a bit about the structures, or I just think he's really cool and I just want to meet him and just, chat with him and just see his handsome face or whatever. You get a 30 minutes onboarding. I'm only leaving this open though pretty much for 24 hours from this webinar. That's my aim, to get the onboarding consult with me. This is just like a one-off thing that I'm doing. I'm not going to make this available for people listening to the replay, not unless you get it in the next 24 hours. And yeah, so this is like a one-off kind of offer, this premium thing. $9.97. So it's a pretty good deal for those of you who know me. And that one, you get the same kind of deal. So just type in the chat. So if you're thinking, if you're interested, just type 1 or 2 to give me a bit of an idea. And also helps me know what my Christmas is going to be like. I am getting a few 2s, a few 1s sent to me privately. Yep. 1.5. I love that. I got a 1.5. So 1.5. Yep. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the link. Now, keeping in mind, like I said, this is a time-sensitive offer. The $4.97, yep, that one, you're getting the 3-month support. The 3-month support, by the way, is only available for the webinar. That's how this works. Generally, you only get the support on the premium and whatever else. This is like a special offer because it's a new thing we've just launched. I've been using it privately for existing clients. So you're getting a really good deal, I can assure you. And I think most of you who know me would know that. So you're going to get that. You're going to be able to email us stuff and things like that. So yeah, it's a pretty damn good deal. And it's unlikely we'll do it again. I never like to say I won't but it's unlikely. I think I'm going to be fixing it up in future. I'm doing other stuff like that. So who's got some real value out of this today? So I'll show you the thing too. Yep, so this is the one here. You just go on here and you can just click on the one that you want and just go bang. That's a mistake, by the way. It expires on Boxing Day. That's not quite correct. But anyway, that was how you fear. Yeah, no, look, I mean, it's half of it, T, is just literally, I kind of need a good rest for Christmas. And I really just want to have very serious people. And I don't want to be suddenly getting people signing up for the premium and my calendar's booked up like crazy. So it's purely self-preservation. So that's why I'm doing that. So very helpful. Thanks. Great confirmation of the stuff we have today. It's great. Esther, great. Just to learn more, understand about cryptos and structures. Yeah. Now, look, everyone, just make sure that whatever you do, you take action on this in some form, because you really do not want to get hit with a lot of gains and be caught out like with that where you haven't properly structured. So, Glenn, if I have 50,000 profit in my own name, is there any way of changing it before selling it? Not really. You just want to get onto it now and put the document in place that if things shoot up more, you're not going to be caught out. That would be my comment. So you just want to get onto it quick, smart. So, David, can you give us an idea of what you need to do? Why one would need 12 months or 3 months? Honestly, I don't really know. 12 months just means it's a bit longer. Sounds good being a premium package. That's a completely truthful answer, David. It's going to be 3 months in future because, yeah, I find to agree with you. It's just probably, I just literally threw it in there. Probably the most honest answer you'll ever hear. Kim, how much does it cost to set up a public foundation structure? It really depends on the kind you're setting up. It's a big thing. You generally need support. I normally say like, 30 to 50 grand, depending on what you're setting up to do it. Pete, sorry, I couldn't hear you respond. Is it a good idea to set up a company or not a good idea? Well, all I'll say of a company, Peter, is that you'll be paying, you won't get any capital gains tax discount. Like you won't get it in the company. So if you hold your cryptos more than 12 months, you'll pay twice as much capital gains tax. So just decide if you want to do that. I mean, if you have a trust, you will get the capital gains tax discount if you hold more than 12 months. So I think it just comes down to if you're happy to give Albo double the tax if you hold it for more than 12 months. Glenn, Debbie, I believe I can trace the transaction from your exchange to the wallet. No doubt about that. Elkie, how about decentralized crypto debit cards one way around CGT? Yeah, if you want to hide and hope you don't get caught, absolutely. But the ATO have made it very clear. You're basically hiding from the ATO. And I'm just, I don't teach that. I don't see the point of it. So basically you set yourself up properly. So people are putting questions in the chat. So no, it doesn't include a structure, a trust. I mean, trust costs a lot more than just that price alone. So you can end up spending a few grand on a company trust. So it definitely doesn't include a structure. If I have a trustee for super, I'm okay. Yes, you need to get a structure for your personal stuff, Kelly. Absolutely. For sure. Okay, everyone. So here's the link to basically jump on board and come part and get some help. And honestly, it's been great to have you on here. Hang on, a few more questions, and I'll do the last three. Can you confirm you suggest to create a public foundation and trust? I certainly do not confirm that whatsoever. All I'm saying is that a structure is a better way to go. A public foundation, you would not set that up unless you want to be a philanthropist. I'm just saying if you're going to do a structure, a trust is a good starting point. But you should always get advice on your own situation before doing it. And it also comes down, if you're happy to, like I said, if you're happy to pay twice as much tax and get walloped in your own personal name, and you won't need a structure. A structure just helps you to legally minimize your tax. And the kind of structure will always depend on your circumstances. Can I add the trust now, even though the company trading has been since 2022? Yes, you can. You can add the trust now. You just better see your accountant and get some advice on that first. Is it the underlying record keeping the ATO rely on? I honestly haven't had much to do with the record keeping. I'll be truthful on that one. You better talk to an accountant on that. What is the price going to be after the introductory offer? I can't answer that right now. It probably won't change much, but the inclusions will probably change significantly. That's more likely. So probably there'll be similar prices, but different inclusions. Okay, thank you, everyone. Look forward to seeing some of you by the program, and hopefully have been of service to you today. Bye for now.